Toby here with the video I promised on Snapchat. In other words, the video I wanted to make that I spent a while making yesterday. Though in this video, I'm going to discuss the kind of cliffhanger the season finale of Mystery Incorporated had from the Scooby-Doo franchise, and kind of why I felt like there should have been a third season. Or maybe even possibly they were setting up for someone to make a sequel or another series and then take it from where this series ended off on. Which technically they kind of did. Not really. But anyways, let me show you the cliffhanger. And I can't put it in full because YouTube and Google Slides don't.
I know who you kids are. See what it is. Harlan Ellison here. Call me Mr. E. I know who you kids are. And I know that you created an alternate timeline by destroying that evil entity. How do I know this? How, you ask in your purblind ignorance? It's obvious as antlers on a chihuahua. I'm a genius. All my years of writing
Playing with
hypertune my psychic mnemonic connection with alternate dimensions. That's why I'm able to remember every timeline ever created. And believe me, this has happened before. But you kids have slipped the time stream with me. Very rare. But very strange. That's why I sent you this message. I've taken up residence as professor of subnuclear sciences at Miskatonic University. I want you in my class next semester. I've already got you all admitted. Even that weird dog. There's a lot of meddling to do, and a lot of mysteries out there that need solving. Don't miss it.
Now, the key thing to remember from that is that's why I am able to remember every timeline ever created. And believe me, this has happened before. That line right there, and in the context of that video, kind of signifies that defeating Nibiru and restarting a new timeline wasn't the first time a timeline has been restarted. Just that this time, the Mystery Gang remembers that timeline, or as he kind of phrased it, hop over to the new timeline. And because of that, I believe that maybe there's a greater evil, or there's been multiple evils with similar aspects to the evil entity that have been on Earth. And that kind of signifies to me a possibility that they may have held out for a third season, or maybe a follow-up series. Okay, if you don't know what timeline changes are, then you're probably a Marvel fan, so let me use a DC character to explain it.
Dude, this is the timeline. This is the point that we exist on it right now. This past point is where my mom was murdered. So, when I saved her, I created a new reality, a new timeline. I was living in a mirror universe. It's called a flashpoint, apparently.
But you decided to leave it. Why?
And life started to spin out of control. This guy, Claris, he was a speedster there too. He's known as the rival. He caused a lot of problems. So, I decided to run back in time again and let things happen as they were supposed to, in hopes of resetting the timeline. But when I came back, things weren't the same.
I guess.
I created another timeline. This is the one.
That was the brief explanation. Okay, many people had actually taken this as that Scooby-Doo Mystery Incorporated is the prequel to Scooby-Doo Where Are You? But the major problem is the line, I've taken up residence as professor of subnuclear sciences at Miskatonic University. In other words, a college. In this line, it's saying that the gang are going to college, which, if you actually follow the original series, they were in high school. Most likely juniors, or some of them probably were sophomores too. So it clearly wouldn't work. Not to mention the museum that held a lot of Scooby-Doo Where Are You villains, and therefore you can make the assertion that it's the other way around. Okay, let me have Velma here explain what Nibiru and the Nibiru Cataclysm is.
The mummified corpse whispering Nibiru is creepy times 10.
It gets creepier. I googled it and found a lot. Namely this. Nibiru is a planet listed in the writings of Zachariah Sitchin, particularly his book The 12th Planet. According to Sitchin's interpretation of Babylonian religious texts, a giant planet called Nibiru passes by Earth every 3,600 years and allows its sentient inhabitants to interact with humanity. These beings, which Sitchin identified with the Anunnaki of Sumerian myth, would become humanity's first gods. My favorite internet encyclopedia says there's supposed to be a collision. The Nibiru collision is a disastrous encounter between the Earth and a
It's
large
technically
planetary
called
object.
Nibiru Cataclysm.
Believers in this doomsday event usually refer to this object as Planet X, or Nibiru.
Yeah, so technically Scooby and Shaggy and the gang saved the world, which technically have done more than once in a weird sense. But anyways, if you want to learn more about that, Google Nibiru Cataclysm. Now, the reason it only had 2 seasons despite doing well with both old and new fans is because the creator said this: there are 11 shows left that will finish off the series at 52 episodes. In other words, season 2, the finale for season 2 was also the series finale. And that was their initial intentions. I believe they only included this maybe because it did so well that maybe Cartoon Network was thinking about renewing it for a 3rd season, so they wanted something to have something to work on, or maybe just set it up so the next Scooby-Doo series, which didn't have anything to do with Mystery Incorporated, could follow it, which of course it didn't. So my theory is that they initially just had it as a way of saying, hey, if anyone wants to make another Scooby-Doo show, here's a way you can do it to link more than just one show with it. And that's what I believe they were technically doing, if not maybe thinking that maybe they would want, that Cartoon Network would want a 3rd season. Now, what if there was a 3rd season? Who would be the greater evil, or like a bad guy to that Scooby-Doo and the gang would face? Well, I was thinking about it, and the thing that came to mind was the Egyptian god Anubis, being kind of a monstrous creature, and since Doomsday would have meant the end of humanity, and him being the god of the underworld, I kind of felt like if they wanted to do something in like mythology, like they kind of did with Nibiru and the evil entity, they could probably have done it with Anubis, especially given that Anubis is more of a monstrous figure. And so, honestly, if they do bring it back for a 3rd season, because some series are coming back despite being canceled, this might be the best way to go. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. Obatobi is signing off, and if you want, you can leave questions. I might do a Q&A next week. Q&A next week if I get enough questions. Thanks. Signing off.